On November 26, 2022, in Brazil, a truck was traveling near the municipal bus terminal when one of its tires detached while the vehicle was in motion. The loose tire rolled toward the sidewalk and struck two pedestrians walking nearby. Commercial vehicle operators must ensure strict pre-trip inspections with particular attention to wheel assemblies, fasteners, and tire condition. Proper maintenance and torque checks can prevent component separation during travel. On August 17, 2021, a tragic traffic incident occurred at an intersection in China. A mother was riding an electric scooter with her young daughter when they slowed down to allow another vehicle to pass. A gravel truck approaching the intersection turned sharply without yielding, striking both the mother and daughter. Large vehicles like trucks have extensive blind spots and limited maneuverability, making it critical for pedestrians, cyclists, and scooter riders to maintain a safe distance. Drivers of heavy vehicles must exercise extreme caution when turning or navigating intersections, adhering to speed limits and ensuring no road users are in the path of their vehicle. In June 2017, at a bus stop in Mexico, an elderly woman was alighting from a bus that had stopped to pick up passengers. After taking a few steps away from the vehicle, she lost her balance and fell, coming into contact with the bus. Elderly passengers are particularly vulnerable to slips and falls when boarding or alighting from buses. Drivers should ensure buses come to a complete stop and remain stationary until passengers have safely exited. Installing clear step markings, handrails, and slip-resistant surfaces, along with passengers holding on to support handles, can help prevent similar incidents. On the 8th of November 2021, a traffic incident occurred in Indonesia. An ambulance transporting a patient in an emergency. At the same time, a motorcycle was proceeding through the intersection with a green traffic signal. The ambulance entered the intersection against a red light and collided with the motorcycle. The individual later passed away due to the incident. Authorities reviewed CCTV footage and confirmed that the ambulance did not sufficiently reduce speed while crossing the intersection. Emergency vehicles are granted priority, but drivers must still manage speed and intersection risk. Ambulance drivers should slow down significantly at intersections, even during emergency responses, ensure sirens and warning lights are active, and visually confirm that cross-traffic has yielded before proceeding. At an intersection, a pickup truck collided with a water tanker, causing the tanker to lose control and veer off its intended path. The moving tanker subsequently struck a nearby pedestrian and collided with a building. Large vehicles, such as tankers, require careful maneuvering and adherence to speed limits, particularly at intersections. Drivers of all vehicles should maintain safe distances and remain alert to surrounding traffic. Proper load securing, defensive driving, and awareness of vulnerable road users can significantly reduce the risk of multi-vehicle incidents and injuries to pedestrians. On the morning of the 17th in Dongguan, China, a container truck lost control at a road intersection and overturned. The truck entered the intersection at speed and tipped onto nearby vehicles waiting at a traffic light. 5 cars were affected, with 2 directly crushed by the container. 4 people were reported injured during the incident, and emergency services responded at the scene. Heavy trucks must undergo regular brake inspections and approach intersections at controlled speeds. Maintaining vehicle space around large trucks and ensuring proper mechanical maintenance are critical steps in preventing serious multi-vehicle incidents. On September 10, 2015, an incident occurred at a road intersection in Ukraine involving a bicycle and a route bus. A cyclist was traveling toward the intersection on a 2-way road. As the cyclist attempted to turn, the front wheel lost stability and he fell onto the roadway. At the same time, a bus was passing through the intersection. The vehicle struck the cyclist before coming to a stop. Cyclists and riders of light personal transport should maintain clear visibility and predictable positions on public roads, especially near intersections. Drivers of larger vehicles must anticipate vulnerable road users and reduce speed when approaching crossing points. At an urban intersection, a motorcyclist traveling at high speed collided with a stationary car, causing the rider to fall in front of the vehicle. As the car driver began moving forward, the vehicle made contact with the fallen motorcyclist. Maintaining safe speeds and adequate following distances is critical, especially near intersections and stationary vehicles. Drivers should always check surroundings before moving, and motorcyclists must reduce speed and anticipate sudden stops. Defensive driving practices on both sides can prevent severe injuries in mixed traffic scenarios. On July 2, 2021, an incident occurred on Papa Old Road in Penampang, Sabah during heavy rainfall. A delivery company lorry was traveling along the road when it lost control on the wet and slippery surface. The vehicle struck the road median and then crossed into the opposite lane. At the same time, a grab-food motorcycle rider was approaching from the opposite direction. The lorry collided with the motorcycle, and the event resulted in fatal outcomes. Driving conditions change significantly during heavy rain, increasing the risk of skidding and loss of control. Drivers, especially those operating delivery and commercial vehicles, must reduce speed, maintain safe distances, and adjust driving behavior to road conditions. Regular vehicle maintenance, cautious operation in adverse weather, and heightened awareness of vulnerable road users, such as motorcyclists, are critical steps in preventing serious roadway incidents. In May 2021, a fire engine was traveling through a narrow, curved street in Patarus when it entered the bend at an unsafe speed. CCTV footage showed the vehicle drifting toward the roadside and making contact with a pedestrian. Shortly afterward, the same fire engine also struck a nearby car and narrowly avoided a motorcycle. Authorities later confirmed the vehicle was not responding to an emergency call. The individual was reported injured during the incident, and the event was reviewed through standard investigation procedures. Emergency vehicles must follow strict speed control when not on active response. Adjusting driving behavior to road conditions, visibility, and pedestrian presence is critical, as the size and weight of these vehicles leave little margin for error in confined urban spaces. At night, a motorcyclist was traveling at high speed when he lost control and collided with a utility pole. The impact caused the rider to fall and sustain injuries. Nighttime riding requires reduced speeds, heightened attention, and proper lighting on both the motorcycle and road. Maintaining control, anticipating obstacles, and adjusting to road conditions are essential to prevent collisions with fixed objects such as utility poles. Wearing protective gear further reduces the risk of serious injury in such incidents. On February 26, 2022, during the early morning hours, a road traffic incident occurred on Provincial Highway 3 in Taiwan. An elderly man was walking on the roadway when he was first struck by a passing vehicle and fell onto the lane. While he remained on the road, another vehicle subsequently drove through the same lane. Several vehicles passed the area without stopping, until a later driver noticed the situation and alerted authorities. This incident highlights the importance of immediate action after any road collision. Drivers must stop, secure the scene, and notify emergency services if a person is on the roadway, regardless of perceived severity.